Good morning, everyone. Today is 2020. Today is the last day of 2020, and welcome to another episode of Xah Talk Show. And today we are going to do Golang. We are going to write a shell script in Golang, inside Golang. So in other words, we are going to write a shell script, okay? Bash, like that. So this is a shell script, but we are going to put those code inside Golang. So I'm writing Golang to code shell. Why do I do that? Let me explain. Okay, today is 2020, December 31st, and 2 o'clock p.m. San Francisco time. Welcome all. Now let me check if I'm alive. The status of Xah. Alive? Yes. And okay, am I checking? Am I alive? Yes, I am. Concurrent viewers was 4 become okay. So let's begin. Okay. Golang, yes, indeed. So I'm going to write a Golang script, and before we do that, let me tell you about the background image. So background image is this one. This is someone else's picture, someone else's keyboard. This is do-it-yourself keyboard, and this one is called Kong keyboard. So Kong keyboard looks like that. It has total of 42 keys, 21 keys each hand, very minimum. And someone has this Golang Gopher keycap. This is Golang's mascot, Go language. Okay, and there's a variation of this keyboard, a variation of the Kong keyboard called Jong keyboard. Very strange. You know, they add this one extra key at the end. I don't know what's that about. But this guy, the author of this Jong keyboard, actually wrote to me saying okay, so Jong is essentially a Kong keyboard with an extra key for brackets and international layouts. Okay, so this extra keys for bracket. Okay, strange. Disclaimer, like I said, you can go to the moon without a computer. Yes. So you know, the thing we are talking about is 40% keyboard, which means only 40 keys. It is very hard to type Chinese, Japanese, Russian with 40% keyboard. Yes, indeed, that's what I said. It's like doubling your work. Yeah, you can. But if you need to type that 2 hours a day, you're gonna see a doctor within a month. Okay, so there's a quote. So this is a Kong keyboard and Jong keyboard, okay? You go buy it. That's the background image. What? Where am I? Comments, okay, guys, comments. Am I actually talking alive? Concurrent views, 2 viewers, okay. So anyway, we are going to do Golang coding, right? It's the right time, right? 2:12, yes. Okay, so that's a background image, and we are going to do Golang. We are going to do it from scratch. Okay, let me gather my thoughts. Let's see what I'm gonna do, and let's see if I'm ready. And let's shell code it. Let's start to code it. Now, actually, there are 2 things I want to do. One is this. Let me explain this one. So this is a shell script. So what it does is that this is a function. Okay, can I actually indent it? Okay, I can actually indent it. Yeah. Okay, let's indent it. So what this shell script does, you see, so this is a function. This is how you write a function. I've never done shell script before. This is actually, you can say this is the first time I'm writing a shell script that involves a function. Now I have a big story about shell script. How should you or should you not use learn bash? Should you or should you not? Long story. I have a long story about it. 20 years of experience. Okay, I'm thinking about where am I going. So yeah, so we'll look at this article. One language to rule them all, or what language to use for find and replace. So this is an article I wrote in 2011, and by that time I already I'm doing Unix admin and writing shell scripts. Well, not Unix as admin for like 10 years. So there, in this article accounts my experience about whether you should write shell script, or in other words, should bash be banned from the face of this earth. So this article I talk about that experience. Okay, you go read it. Okay, go read it. This is homework. Let's go to Talk Show, and on the right window you can see all my let's close that. On the right window, on the pink window, you can see all my Emacs keys and command calls. And go to Xah Talk Show today, and the Chrome keyboard, and make a new line, magnify, and merge these two. So this is our topic today. Magnify. Okay. So one language to rule them all, or what language to use for finds and replace. So shall I go over it? So I explain. So the reason I'm thinking about this, because I write a lot find and find and replace scripts. For example, in text editors, you want to find some function and rename it, or find and replace, or sometimes grep. In the Unix tradition, it's called grep and set. Grep and set. Okay, that's a traditional Unix way. Grep is for find. Grep, for example, I can show you. Okay, so we go to the Emacs shell. Let's show the window. So grep. Jesus, I haven't used grep. Oh yeah, okay. Here's what to do. Okay, here's the syntax. I haven't used used grep for more than 10 years, because I always use it within Emacs, or because I have as I said, I have written so many times in different languages scripts that does grep in Perl, Python, Golang, and Emacs Lisp. Okay, I have a version of grep, and I also have a version for set. Okay, let me explain grep first. Okay, grep. So this is a traditional Unix tool for finding some text in a file. Let's grab Haskell. Okay, Haskell is, everyone wants to know Haskell. So you want to grab the keyword Haskell in all files ending in HTML. Enter. There it is. Now within Emacs, you can see this is the advantage of calling grep Unix tools within Emacs, because these are all the occurrences. You see, it occurs in this file, occurs in this file, occurs in this file, and you can just press enter to jump to that file. You see here. Okay, let's do it again. Where is it? Okay, there it is. Xah Talk Show. Okay, Emacs Lisp sitemap, Python syntax and design, type theory, Haskell. There it is. So this is grep. Okay, so this is calling grep in Emacs. Let's show you. Let me show you. Let's go back to split the window. Let's go back to zshell. You see, this is the syntax for grep. Now we can call this in terminal. Okay, let me show you how it looks like in terminal. So go to call Xah open terminal. Open in terminal. This is the Emacs command I wrote. So there it is, the terminal. Okay, magnify. So let's do grep again. Grep Haskell. All files ending in HTML. So here is the output. Ugly. And it's unreadable. Okay, so that's in shell. So this is the advantage of calling grep in Emacs. So you got this colored interactive output. So grep is a traditional Unix tool or Linux for finding text in some file. Now another traditional Unix tool for find and replace is, suppose you want to replace all the words Haskell by golang, okay? So that's set. Okay, so in Emacs, let's do man set. Okay, so this is a set man page. Actually, I haven't used set for a long time. Set is no good, because these days you code in Perl, Python, Ruby, even PHP and Golang, or even JavaScript with Deno. You can write all these, in 10 minutes if you know the language, and you can customize it to your needs instead of using the Unix grep and set fuck. They are fuck. Okay, they are fucked up fuck or fucked up fuck. That's what they are. They have lots of problems. I mean, typically my readers, you are probably a Linux fan. And you, what is this guy saying? What grep is fuck? Yes, it is. It's so fucked up fuck. Long history. I'm not going to even go. I can tell you the reasons from 20 years ago to today. It's no good. So set. So here is your set. Okay, set is it's called stream editor. Stream editor. Editor. Stream your ass, and editor your ass. And look at this incomprehensible. Anyway, we are digressing. Grep and set. Okay, starting to have people coming in. So we actually, are you guys here to look for the Golang coding? Because if you guys are here to look for the Golang scripting, actually I should start to write Golang instead of rambling about grep set, because I can talk about this for 10 hours non-stop. So grep and set, they are the traditional Unix tools. One for find strings in files, another one for find and replace. In fact, I have a tutorial for it. Let's go to Linux website. Okay, practical Linux tutorial. So there you have it. If you are new to Unix or Linux, there is your grep and rejects. And stuff, Unix stuff, grep and grep. It's actually it's quite useful actually. Yeah, still. Yeah, but I mean, here's the way to put it. Okay, yeah, grep is they are Unix tools. They are traditional and they are still around, and they are not going to go away. They are not going to away. They probably will not go away in 10 years. Okay, but however, I mean, because they are part of the Unix system, they are not going to go away. Just like VI is not going to go away. Okay, so they are useful in for many reasons. One is the momentum. It's a backward compatibility, because every install tools they are probably called grep. Okay, because it's installed in every Unix, Linux, and on the Mac. So you cannot escape it. You have to use it. It's like it's momentum. It's like the C language, the most fucked up fuck. C and C++ fuck. Okay, but you cannot escape it because it's like a black hole. It's already very big. It's not going to die anytime soon. Same way with the Unix tools, set, grep. Okay. But however, if your need is actually find and replace, and without, if you are not working in a company, but I mean your goal, you need to do something find and replace for your own system or something, or you starting your own company, then you don't need grep and set, okay? Because you can do that in Perl, in Python, in Ruby, in Golang, in JavaScript, okay, with Deno. You can do it easily in 5 minutes and customize to your needs, because I have already written tens of such scripts. I've talked about this in dedicated Xah Talk Show once or twice at least, where I showed you my GitHub. Should I start to do Golang or not? Because I'm digressing so much. Okay, so grep and set. So I was saying grep and set is a traditional Unix tool, and okay, let's just go. Let's go to Golang. Okay, let's show you quickly my scripts about, okay, so here's Golang tutorial. Then you go to find string. So here is a code written in Golang that does grep. Okay, more powerful than grep because you can specify which directory you need, which one you don't need, or you can specify which directory to ignore, or you can specify multiple search string. In grep, it's just one. Okay, you can specify multiple search string, and you can also specify how much context to show before the string occurrence or after the string occurrence, or don't show them at all. Or you can modify it. In fact, I have a script. You can just do count. Of course, you can do this in Unix too, but in shell, it becomes grep, find, and xarg, and very complex. Eventually, you start to write Perl. That's the birth of Perl, because Perl, the Larry Wall, is fed up with the Unix fuck. So he created Perl. That's the reason Perl was born, and it became the most popular scripting language for 10 years. Starting around 1995, and Perl died around, let's say, 2010. Nobody is using Perl now because Python took over, and for reasons, and Ruby and PHP. Okay, so here is a Golang script for grep. Okay, then you have a Golang script for set. Basically, set is find and replace. Okay, Golang script, very powerful. And if you are into Python, here is the Python script for find and replace. I used this for 10 years, and then the granddaddy is the Perl version. Find and replace string pairs in directory, so you can do multiple find replace pairs in one shot. And let me tell you one big problem about set in Unix, because the Unix philosophy, they truncate lines. If your lines is longer than 80 characters, they silently and automatically just cut it off, like as if it doesn't exist. So you are trying to grab, some important word. Let's say you are trying to grab disaster, but it so happens that word is longer than longer than 80 lines. It just truncated. And it doesn't tell you, it says disaster not found, but actually because it truncated, that is the history of Unix. Unix is like that. In 1980s and even up to year 2000, okay, because tar was doing that. If you tar something, a directory, and if the directory names is more than 120 characters, it just truncated. Then you send this important file to FBI. It's a big secret. Then they untie it, and the file names are truncated silently. I have an article on that too. It's somewhere. Just search for. I have too many articles. So depending on where what you guys are saying, so and that determines which direction I'm gonna talk. Okay. Okay, so let's see. I don't want to use Haskell. Grep hater. Okay, year changed to honey. Okay, yeah. 2021, amazing. 2021. I am Jesus. I'm 53. Well, not yet, but. I'm 52 now, but about to be 53. I can code maybe 5 more years. Then you will not hear from me now. You will, I'll just quietly disappear, just like every Hollywood star. Okay, Robin Wheels. Good morning, Anton. Anything you do is fine for me. Not here for Golang. Okay. I see your new PC build on Twitter. Yes, you can stream games when you get it. Indeed. Now I joined the gamer gang, and I'm gonna frag this Malayan Gen gamer ass. I despise them so much. These American gamers. You can see them on YouTube, and many of you guys too. Let's do, on the video games, 3D video games, first-person shooter games. I will frag your ass in a 3D first-person shooter games, okay? And not Quake, okay? I don't want to play Quake. I want to play a game. Let me show you, okay? I want to play a game where there's no machine gun or rail gun or zapper, electronic, what the fuck guns. The only weapon allowed is single shot rifle, okay? Like one shot and you have to reload it. So in this game, I found such a game during our Discord chat with friends' help. Lunarius and many other people helped me. We were talking about games. So once I get my new computer, and thank you guys for, I got $4,000 over the past 4 years from Patreon, so I can buy a computer now. So once I get a computer, but I'm getting old. I'm not sure I'm going to get into games, but there's a temptation. There's because I'm a nerd. I want to know what's going on in games too. So, but if I get into games, I want to play a first-person shooter one-on-one, such that the weapon is single-shot rifle. Every time you click, mouse click, aim click, you make a shot, you have to reload. Okay. No machine gun, no automatic or no semi-automatic crap. Okay, so in that game, one-on-one, I will kick your ass. I'm fairly confident in saying that. Okay, and that game, Lunarius told me that game. I found this. I'm asking you guys, what is there such a game? And there it is. There is. So at least one of them is this one, okay? This one. 1 versus 1 rats insta-gip. Okay, that's a game, and it's only $5, I think. Because in Second Life, I played with these young people, Anyway, this is a game, okay? It's the name of the game is Rats Instagip. Now, Instagip is a slang. It's a gamer slang, of course. They have so many gamer slangs, and you can. I looked up. It's Instagip. There's etymology for it. Instant gip. So actually, maybe I should go back to talk about programming. Emacs and esoteric computing. Happy New Year's. How many times can one rebuild the wheel? I see your new PC. Okay. Emacs and esoteric. Okay. What is the eye patch for? Oh, I have a cross eye. I have a big cross eye since I was a teen, I think. Emacs and esoteric. Okay, so what is the most important books to learn for programmer? Okay, that's there's no such thing. What is the most important books to learn for programmer? Yeah, there's no such idea. You just learn programming. Okay, there's no magic trick. Sid Ali, hello. FMS, hello. And Runipo says Rats Instagip is like Quake with only railgun weapon. I played it before. Yeah, the gamers, they say railgun weapon. So, and there's also another term I learned. It's called another term I learned that refers to the way railgun works. Basically a line of sight, instant line of sight death. And the gamers have a term for it. Anyway, I like to play games, but I'm getting old. Maybe I'll get into. Let's see when my new computer arrives. So actually, So I was planning to do Golang, but you know, when you do a talk show, it's actually easier for me, at least, because my audience and my personality, actually it's much easier for me just to random chat about lots of things, interesting things you guys will find interesting. On the other hand, I can also go, a tutorial on Golang, purely technical, or Emac this. Although that is in general more difficult, and also, in fact, less people are interested because people watch YouTube. They just want to, it's entertainment. If you really want to learn, most people, especially you guys, hacker types, you want to learn a language, it's better to, you can just read, then instead of, well, okay, what are we doing? So I was talking about Golang. So I was going to write a Golang script. This is my own project. I mean, this is something I have to do. So I was thinking, why don't I just do a talk show and meanwhile complete, this script, because I need to do this. So essentially, I'm doing a backup of my, I started to have money to buy a disk drive so that I can back up, Anyway, so I'm writing a backup script, and what this script does, there are so many ways to do a backup. Okay, you can use rsync, you can use one of the backup, app. There are quite a few of them, or you can do it manually. I have always been doing it manually because I believed in brute force. You just copy the whole directory to the backup disk every month or so. Just take 1 minute to drag it over, then just let it run. And don't worry about nothing, because the disk is growing and growing faster than we can actually use it, at least for a person. So you just do that, and don't worry about writing a script or sync or whatever. Just every month, just spend the 1 minute to copy the file over. That's the ideal situation, but it was never like that. I always end up spending hours and hours whenever I want to do a backup, because every time I need to do a backup, I know it's going to be hours. So I tends to not want to do it. Why hours? Because every time I do a backup, in one hand you can just drag the whole directory. On the Mac, you can, for example, just drag, for example, these are directories, just drag it over to another disk and just wait the machine to copy. Maybe take 2 hours or whatever, let it do it. Brute force. Now this is the brute force way, the utmost simplicity. You don't worry about time machine or whatever backup or Git or rsync or whatever. Just manually copy it daily if you need to be. Just take 1 minute to open the folder, drag it over, and let the computer do the rest of it for an hour or two. You rely, this is kind of the brute force approach to computing, to manage your computing directories or whatever, because you don't worry about nothing. You want the simplest method possible. And but one thing you rely on is the fact that the disk, gets faster. The interface, USB to USB 3, there was FireWire, or many other methods, Ethernet. You rely on the interface to be faster and faster every year, right? And also the hard disk grows and grows more than you can ever use. So that's a brute force way. But also because of my personality, every time it didn't happen like that. Every time I spent hours, because every time before I drag, I want to know what's going on with my directories, which file I really don't need, which I need to run many Unix shell script to see which file is actually large. For example, let's do Actually, I don't want to do it because then it's gonna show lots of my personal files. But anyway, you can, if you use Unix, you know what I mean. You can use du to show the directory size, so you can get a list of all the directory size. So I want to know which one is a big file, and I never use and things like that. I want to, I spend the time to look. Then I started to look at, sometimes there's a lot of movie files. I haven't looked for a long time. So I started to look at those movie files to see, do I really need this? And then there's a matter of indecision. Should I delete this one or not? So every time I do backup, it ends up, like that. So am I doing good? So what? I'm still wondering, should I go back to Golang, code the Golang and stuff? So let me show you my Golang script. Okay, so here's the Golang script. So what I end up doing right now this time is that I started to I started to make every directory a Git repo. So this is an example where I ends up spending a lot of time, because now I'm thinking, why not, now Git is very popular, why not make every directory, for example, documents is a common directory, videos, pictures, all these are common directory. So make them into a Git repo for every directory. Then that takes time, because you start a Git repo, it takes 40 minutes sometimes. So I did that for my directories. Then right now I wrote this script. Okay, let me show you what the let me just let me try to do something useful, so you can see something that's actually useful instead of me just babbling. Okay, so let's go to Git. Git site. Okay, practical Git in 1 hour. So let me tell you about this issue. So suppose you have a separate from backup. Okay, so suppose this is a new issue. Okay, now suppose you have a Git repo of, let's say there are 10,000, 20, 100,000 files, a few gigabytes, very big, let's say. So you want to back up this project, right? So in the most simple case, you just copy the entire directory to your backup drive. Yeah, that works, but it's inefficient, because in every Git repo, for example, let's go to directory. Okay, let's go to, for example, this is my xah.info directory. That's my website. Okay, so we go one directory up. You can see magnify. So this is xah.info. So you can see this is a Git database. You see, every time you have a Git project, you have this Git and this Git essentially is a copy of your entire directory. Okay, so whenever you have a Git repo, the folder actually double in size, because it contains a kind of a condensed copy of the whole directory itself. So if I want to back up this xah.info, magnify. Okay, go up the. So if I want to back up this xah.info, I can go to let's see if I can, let me show you this Emacs command. Okay, open in desktop. Okay, so you press a key. The command is this one. Okay, show in desktop. Okay, you press a key and it pops up the folder viewer, and it works in Linux and Windows as well. So this Emacs command. So you see, this is directory. So if you go up one directory and copy the whole thing to backup drive, it's inefficient, because it's actually copying the directory twice, because including the Git repository. So if I want to back up this, I do want to back up this, I can just, originally the brute force way is just copy the whole thing, but it's inefficient, because it copied twice, including the Git repo. So but I'm a efficiency nerd, so I don't want. So is there a way, if you have a Git repo, is there a way to copy the whole directory to a backup, but without the .git directory? Yeah, there is. Of course, there's a way. All you have to do is select all files and click on the git.git, and so this way you don't copy the git. Yeah, but if you do it this way, then you have to create a new directory first, then copy the whole thing into that directory. Then that directory also has to be named the same name. So it's more work, more manual work. So is there, I want the simplest command, just copy the whole thing, exclude the .git. Yeah, there are ways, that you can do a shell script, or there are many ways. Okay, let me talk about this backup. There's actually a lot of issues. Okay, so let's hold on a second. So I haven't finished about this topic yet, about copying a repo, but there are digressions. Let me talk about that. In a Git repo, typically you have thousands, typically the file size is very small. Let's close that. For example, my Linux tutorial, all these files are, the file size is just 3K, 9K, 10K, very small. When you have tens of thousands of small files, you copy them to a USB or whatever, it takes tremendous time. It's very slow. Okay, it's super slow. It takes 2 hours, even if you have a fast interface. That's my experience for the for this hard disk drive. This is actually spinning drive. This is not solid state. I don't have solid state drive, but now I'm upgrading. So when my new computer comes, I'll finally have solid state drive. I'm tired of the disk spinning, because every time I do, for example, when I do online stream, the CPU's maxed out. Not now, but the CPU maxed out, and the disk start to whirl, and then you wait for the disk whirling. Anyway, so the point is, when you copy thousands of files, it's slow. So one solution, actually, it's faster if you first zip them into an archive, zip them all together. Then you copy the zip file over. So this combination of steps is actually faster than you just drag the whole directory over. Okay. So we are talking about backup. So there's complications. We were talking about copying the Git repo over. So first complication is that you are also copying the Git, the Git directory. You don't want to do that. Then the second complication is that you want to zip it first before you copy over, because that way it's actually faster. So how do you do that? So there is a solution. It turns out Git has a solution. So here is a solution. Okay, archive. So there is a command called git archive. So this is basically what you do. So in this article, I tell you what to do. Okay. So this way, it will create a zip file of a Git repo, but without the .git, and also without history. So this is exactly what we want. We just want to copy the current folder without .git, without history info, just the file. So this is what you want. So you do this command, it creates a zip file for the repository. Then you can copy the zip file over. So now back to why am I writing this script? I can show you what's going on here. So practical Git. So this is a script. Okay. So back to this script. So this is what the script is doing. So for these directories, you can see. Let me. So this, you see, this is my Git repo. Ergo Emacs. I'm chewing gum. Let me spit it out. So this is my Emacs website. This is my Wordy English website. This is my Xah website. All these are my websites. So for each directory, I want to basically make them into a zip file without history, without .git. Okay, so for each one of them, this script will create a zip file. It'll take about an hour or two when I run this. So then I have to manually copy all these zip files to my backup drive. So it's still manual process, So of course I'm still in the process of automation, so I can write another script that moves all these new zip files over. But the problem is, so this takes time. Writing these scripts takes time. It actually takes a few hours. Then another issue, because I'm writing this shell script, but I'm thinking, because I'm into programming languages, I'm into efficiency. Remember, I'm into efficiency. So when I'm writing shell scripts, and I know shell is the most worthless fuck of the Unix heritage. Okay, shell, the crap, the worst shit possible. So why am I writing a shell? I don't want to use anything that's a hack. Okay, Unix shell is a hack, beginning with boom shell, then bash, CSH, TCSH, ZSH, Kong shell, KSH. This crap. Why are there are so many? Because each one is one fucked up fuck. That's why then there's another new version trying to improve it. Then there's Perl. Then Perl died. That's why the Unix fuck. So hack. The Unix is the embodiment of the word hack. Everything Unix is a hack. And this hack attitude is condensed into a slogan, the Unix philosophy. And everyone is happy ever since. The Unix fuck philosophy. So I want to do backup. In the beginning, I thought just copy the whole thing over, brute force. This is the mathematician's way. This is the most elegant method for a mathematician, because mathematicians, they don't care about efficiency. Mathematicians, they only care what it is. Or if you have a goal, just do it. They care about, can it be done or can it not be done? Is it possible to do it? That's a mathematician's philosophy. When mathematicians look at things, is it possible? When mathematician says possible or impossible, it means theoretically, it's a theoretical possibility. Okay, that's the theoretical computer science. What is computable? Things like that. Recursive, theory. That's all. Most tuning machine, as lambda calculus, combinators. They are all these are trying to answer the question: what is possible to compute? What is not possible to compute? Okay. So they are, that's a mathematician. So all these are mathematicians, not computer engineering fuck, like C, C++, Java, JavaScript fuck. So mathematicians created they are the forerunners, pioneers of a theoretical computer science. In other words, theoretical computer science, which is nothing okay. And they are about lambda calculus and so on. They are actually about foundation of mathematics. They are really part of math, and they are part of the foundation of mathematics. The reason Turing machine, lambda calculus, combinators were invented because they are trying to answer the question about what is actually possible for computation to arrive at the answer. What is impossible? That's why. And it turns out we learned that actually a lot of things are not possible. It doesn't even if you have a machine with infinite speed and infinite memory, there are things it's not possible. Even with infinite machine, infinite memory is just not possible. Okay. Well, of course, for example, one example most of you guys know the most fucking idiotic example is the halting problem. Fuck the C programmers, C++ and Unix fucks. They don't know nothing, but every time they'll say halting problem and tuning machine. Meanwhile, they don't know nothing about the context and tuning machine is the worst shit. Okay, lambda calculus is better, combinators is even better, and even all this you don't know. They are part of the automata. Okay, anyway. So digression. So let me see what's the comments. Okay, so let me actually go back to the backup thing. So backup thing, I've said so many fuck in this video. I'm afraid that Google is going to censor me. So back to the backup. So originally I was thinking backup from a mathematician's perspective, the by brute force. I don't care efficiency, just you can do it, and by brute force, because the power of computers is getting bigger and gigabyte, terabytes hard disk, just copy it over and don't spend manual time to mess with it. But that turned out they are because I also care about efficiency, so one thing leads to another. Then you have then why don't we make a Git repo, okay, for each directory, so that way why not? Because that way I have instant backup. When I screw up, if I for example, if I fucked up this line, save, close, and whoops, I spent 1 hour's work is gone. I can just back up. Okay, no undo. No undo is the first level of backup, but no undo. I can go here. I just made a backup here. So you see, copy it, close it, open it, select all, paste. So I got my thing back. But what if I delete the whole file without doing a manual backup? So I can do a manual backup by just pressing 3 keys. So now you see, let me try. Okay, backup. Now go to the directory, refresh. You can see I've made so many backups. So undo is the first level of backup. But once you close the file, all your undo is gone. So second level of backup is the backup of the file. So that's the second way. But if this way also fails, then it's time to git checkout, third level of backup. For example, I can do git checkout. For example, let's go to computer. For example, programming blog. Let's try to. Okay, so let's try to. Let me show you this zsh prompt setup. So now I have colorful prompt in zshell. Okay, so you can see my colorful prompt in zshell. Open a new one, magnify. Okay, so cd. Okay, I don't want to list directory because I don't want to show my personal crap. So anyway, you can see colorful prompt. So you have the user, you have the host name, date, timestamp, and current path. This is timestamp is greatly useful because every time you do a shell command, it might run for 10 minutes or hour. You don't know. When you come back, you can see every prompt has a timestamp, so you can automatically see how long it something took without you typing a date in the beginning and in the end. So you can run any command, go for a coffee, and when it's done, you can see how long it take. So it's great to have date and timestamp in your prompt. So this is one of my idea. But the Unix fuckheads, these Unix Linux fuckheads, geeks, you can see for the past 20, 30 years, they have website forums talking about prompt. They have many colors or some especially zshell. Okay, they have many customizations. Each one is geekier than the other, but you will see none of it shows the timestamp. Something I find the most useful. But the Unix people always they they don't live in the same world as I do. They have all these powerful ways geeking, but but you almost never see them show a timestamp, which I find the most useful. And another thing is that I always want, let me show you, I always want the prompt. You see, the prompt and whatever I type is, for example, date, is in a separate line. That's what I prefer, because this way you have a separation, it's clarity. But of all the Unix, prompts, these Unix heads they create on the website, you will not see this neither. It's so strange. This is so strange. This is why I always despise the Unix fanatics, because their way in every, just about in every way, they're hacker, these nerds. Their method, that's not, that when I look at what they say, they always try to tell you what to do. I look at their stuff, that's no good. That's no good. And they are telling you this is the best way. If you don't follow their way, you are a troll. That's what this very common behavior of this Unix philosophy and Python. These Coty fuckheads. Okay, so shell. So I was saying, so yeah, git backup. So for example, I can, so that's zshell, and in the same, you can also set up the prompt in bash, and I have a tutorial on how to do that, of course. And for example, bash color prompt. Okay, now I go to zshell, magnify, cd up git status. Okay, git status. Let's see what things I've changed. Wait, what? Why is it taking so long? Oh, okay. I've changed quite a lot of things. JavaScript, yeah, whole directory of JavaScript in depth. Okay, guys, you need to buy my JavaScript in depth. Let's magnify. Okay, so all these files change, and JavaScript blog and CSS, HTML, and more JavaScript. So what did I change? I forgot. So let's open it. Okay, let's see. Press a key to open it and go to the diet. Okay, so you see all these are backup I made automatically by a script because of find and replace. Remember, I was talking about find and replace. Every day for the past 15 years, I do find replace on like 1,000 to 5,000 files every day, almost every day, because I'm using a static website. So all these backup you are seeing are actually auto-generated find and replace. So I forgot what I did. Oh yeah, I remember, because I was trying to change the logo, my JavaScript in-depth logo. You see the logo at the bottom, so I changed that for the whole directory. Okay, so anyway, I was going to do a diff. I can show you a diff. Okay, so let me show you. So this is how so you are looking at my workflow. Shell command diff that file and that file. Okay, do it. Okay, so you can see the difference. Okay, let me show you. Go to messages buffer and magnify. You see, when the difference is not many, it just shows in the message buffer. So you can see the difference is just yeah. Anyways, anyway, I made some change in that. So okay, so let's go back to zshell. So I made so many JavaScript changes, and also Linux. Yeah, also I made some Linux changes. So now git add. Okay. Yeah, it's taking a long time. What are you guys saying? Okay, so I guess I rambled so much. Okay, so git add. So now git commit a do. There it is. Okay. So the third level of backup. Okay, once I do a git commit, let's go back to shell again. Okay, I already closed it. Okay, anyway, so magnify. So magnify. So now I want to do. Let me show you. Okay, you see all these backup files. All these red one, those are the Emacs backup files. I want to delete them all of them in my entire Xah directory. Okay, not just this directory, because in this directory I can just press a key in Emacs. Emacs asks me if I want to delete them all. Yes. So it deleted 1,000 files. So but however, if you go to another directory, let's say Linux, you can see then lots of backup files. So but I have tens of directories. So instead of doing that, I just go to shell. I want to run the command that basically I want to run this command. Okay, find, this is the Unix shell working. Find name anything ending a tilde, then for example I can do that actually not in this directory. So actually cd up, then unknown primary what? Oh yeah, so I guess that, yeah, so it finds, I want to delete them, but I can run a command called Xah interactive abbrev, then type backup, then there's a because I have so many abrevs, so this way all abrevs are listed, so I can just type a few keys and find the abrev I want. Delete Emacs backup. Okay, enter. So it automatically type this command for me. So I press enter, then that is done. So all these backup files are deleted in the Xah info directory. So now I close. Now if I show this file in browser, set prototype.entries. So this is one of the new JavaScript function. Okay, set. You have a set, like a mathematical set. But anyway, so if I deleted this file by mistake, okay, delete by mistake. Now I can go to okay, so so let's go to messages buffer, magnify. Okay, so you can see this is the file actually I made a backup. So actually open it, show in diode. Let's show that. So this is the file I just deleted. JavaScript set prototype entries. Okay, let's simplify. Okay, so this is the file I just deleted. Now I made a backup, but if I don't have a backup, let's actually just delete this file. Okay, delete it. So whoops, I deleted a important file. Refresh, file not found. Okay, so what do? You go to zshell git checkout and type the file name. Oops, updated one path from index. So that file refresh buffer. Okay, refresh, that file magically reappears. So go to browser, refresh it came back. So this is the, so using git is the third level of revival from the dead. Okay, the first level is undo, the second level is manual backup of the file, the third level is git, the fourth level is from your backup drive. If you by chance deleted your entire git repo or your remote repo, there's a disaster, then you get them back, you revive it from the backup disk. Okay, so that's about some of the backup issue. Now back to my script. Let's see, close that. shell color prompt, close that. Zshell prompt setup, close that. Why are we talking about that? Because close that. Back to my backup file. So I was saying, so I wrote this backup file where for each these directories, first of all, each of them is a Git repo. So this script will create a zip file of each one of them without the .git repository. Okay, but then at this stage, I'm wondering why should I write a shell script? Because I despise the Unix fuck. I don't want to use hack, whatever the hack created. So I rather, let's say, Perl, Python, or Golang, or Ruby. Any one of them would be better than writing this shell script. Shell script. Like I was wondering, I never wrote a shell script before because I always used Perl before. So I'm wondering, when you create a function, are these variables local to the function or not? I don't know what's the answer. Do you know? Am I still running? Comments, guys. Let's see how long I've been talking. Oh shit, I already talked for 1 hour. Feels like I haven't began. Exclude in rsync, yes. The problem with rsync, okay, let me talk about rsync. Rsync is one of the, let me show you, because I have rsync, okay. Let's show, why are you against Unix philosophy? My god, you haven't read or watched my stuff because I talked about that for 10,000 times. But anyway, rsync, you see, this is the rsync I've been using for 15 years. Okay, you see the complexity of the fuck. Rsync. You see, Okay, so you have all these parameters, right? Options, but then you have the exclude. Okay, let me tell you guys one of the story about Unix fuck up. Okay, let me tell you, and that is part of the reason, only just a part of the reason why I despise the Unix and Unix philosophy. Because Unix philosophy, anyway, let me just talk about what I'm talking about now. I don't want to. Anyway, yeah. So you see, rsync you have these options. Let me tell you, one of the extreme complexity of the Unix shell tools, fuck, is that whenever a command that has options to exclude or include some directories, that becomes extremely complex. Nobody can fucking explain it well. Okay, I've been doing Unix admin on Solaris since year 1999. Okay, so I know the stuff. If you are new, maybe you will say, "Oh, Xah," but you don't know. Actually, I know a lot. I can ask you Unix questions you don't know, even if you are a sysadmin for 10 years. So right now this point is about in Unix. Okay, let me be precise. In Unix shell command line tools such as rsync, and there are quite a few. There's quite a lot of them. When these programs, when they have an option for specifying which directory to include or which directory to exclude, this is a common need. Okay, then those commands are extremely complex and also inconsistent. Okay, because every command they'll do it in their own way, their own option names. Okay. Then okay, so and why is it complex? Because when you have include or exclude, okay, directories. First of all, are you going to use regular expression or shell glob? Okay. First of all, if your need is simple, you can. There are many complexities. Let me just explain. Okay. First of all, are you talking about including and excluding directories, or are you talking about including or excluding files? Okay, because directories and files are obviously different. Sometimes all you need is exclude some files. Sometimes you want to exclude some directories. They are different. Okay, so if you have a syntax for excluding files, that may not work for directory. Okay, that's one of the first problem. Directory versus files. Now, second problem, are you going to use a exact file name, or are you going to use some kind of pattern such as glob or regular expression? Okay, this is very complex too, because let's say if you are going to use a pattern, okay, if you use a pattern, that's great. For example, this pattern, okay, so for example, this exclude. So this exclude means exclude all files or directories that begin with 2x. Okay, so if you are using a pattern, but if you have option for that, it may not be convenient, because sometimes all you want is you don't want regular expression. You don't want patterns of any sort. You have a list of files. And they don't have common pattern. You want them to be literal. Okay, but if your file name suppose your file name contains this asterisk, then you got a problem, because now you need to escape, like backslash escape all these file name characters where it contains that that glob, shell glob, whatever the pattern special character. It's a practical issue, because you have a bunch of directories or names. You have to be careful, because this is easy to make mistake, because if you forgot to escape one of the character, then bam, maybe you deleted the entire directory on your server. Okay, so this is the second complexity. That is your option for including or excluding files or directories. Are they gonna be literal, or are you going to use a some kind of glob or regular expression or pattern? Okay, which one you gonna do? This is the second complexity. Or maybe you should have several options. One option is always about excluding using literal syntax. Then another option is about using some kind of pattern. Okay, so this is the second complexity. Third complexity is that so if you are going to use pattern is very useful. Okay, because sometimes you want to exclude all directories that begin with 2x, for example. In this case, you need a pattern, because it will be impossible to specify, to literally list all those such directories. So you want a pattern. Then there's a question: are you going to use a shell glob system called Unix glob? For example, asterisk means any character. Okay, so that's one system. Or are you going to use regular expression? So this is I think the third or fourth complexity. Anyway, so because on one hand, if you use the shell glob, that's great, works most of the time, but sometimes doesn't work, because you need something more powerful. Your pattern is more complex, then you need regular expression. But regular expression is usually unreadable. So there are advantage and disadvantage of using shell glob or use regular expression. You have to make a choice, or you could have another option that specifies whether your exclude is a pattern based on regular expression or the shell glob. So let me summarize complexities. 1, directory versus file name. 2, pattern versus literal. file path. 3. Glob, Unix glob, file glob, or regular expression. You have to decide. Now, 4. The fourth complexity. When you have exclude or include, there arises the issue of order. So, does exclude has precedence over include, or does include have precedence over exclude? This is a complex issue, and the different tools, they have their own thinking. So, and it's also a practical issue because you cannot, suppose you want to exclude all patterns, begin with XX, but except this one directory. So if you have XX1, if a directory name start with XX1, then you want that to be included. So you can so you cannot. So how do you do that? Well, one way is to is to have a new option, include, that somewhat take precedence over the exclude. So in other words, it comes after the exclude. So anyway, so there's the order problem. It's kind of complex. It's semantically complex. So of all these 4 complexities, that's big enough. And each Unix tool will have different ways. The Apache, including Apache, because in Apache config files, you also have this include and exclude issue. Very complex. One fucked up fuck. And the worst thing is the documentation, because these Unix fuckheads, they are incapable of thinking clearly. So when they write a command, rsync is a pretty good example. Let's do man page rsync. Guess how many lines? Okay, take a guess. How many lines is the man page for rsync? Is it 500 or 1000 or 2000? Okay, I will say 1000. Okay, let's see. Rsync man page. Go down to the bottom. 2,800 lines documentation for rsync. How long they gonna take? You gonna read this? Nobody actually read the whole thing. It's complexity. Fuck rsync. Fuck Unix. Fuck the Unix fuckheads. It's typical. The last Unix tradition tool is Git. Fuck Git. No, that's why when you are doing, you always have question about Git. Oh, how do you do this? But you heard it's so powerful. It's the greatest tool since sliced bread. But Git is the last fuck up in the Unix tradition. Okay, Git is the last one basically, because the millennial generation took over and they become something else. They got their problems. But I'm talking about the traditional, the Unix screw up. So 2,800 lines for the rsync documentation, and let me add, and it's written in the most lousy, incomprehensible way. That's the Unix man page. It's the worst system of documentation of the entire computing industry. I can say that. Okay, so if you have a question, so for example, which documentation of a programming language or a tool in computing industry one would say is the worst? That would be Unix man page. Okay, the other runner up would be, or the other top 5 would be Python documentation, Apache documentation. Okay, Unix man page. These 3 would be the top 5. But the Unix people don't know. They think the man page is the best thing. They think they complete. That's you ask me, why are you against Unix philosophy? The jargon, the mantra, the chant, Unix philosophy is the cause of all these problems, because you spread the gospel. Oh, Unix philosophy. We love Unix philosophy. That's why there are so many people. For example, they think man page is the greatest thing since sliced bread. Oh, man page, great documentation, in-depth technical detail. In fact, it's the worst technical style writing possible in human history. Unix man page, fuck. And the Unix rsync, we talked about. So so why do I hate Unix? Why do I hate Unix philosophy? Here's, I've talked about a few concrete examples. One is the documentation, the worst documentation. But however, all the Unix people, they think it's the best. They think sometimes they think it's the best literature. Imagine that in English writing department, they think it's like Shakespeare. In fact, there are journalism writing about that. Anyway, I have an article. I have so many articles on that. So anyway, rsync. Okay, so let me recap. Rsync, one of the complexity of Unix tool, not just in rsync but in so many other Unix tool, is when it involves exclude or include directories, and the complexity are whether you're gonna are you talking about directory or are you talking about files only? Because it's a big issue. Or are you going to have another option? One option for directories, one option for files. Or you're gonna depend on syntax. If the syntax ends in a slash, that means a directory. If the syntax does not end in a slash, it means a file. And there's more complexities, because in Unix, directories are actually a file, because directory, technically speaking, is just a file. So too many complexities. So directory versus file, pattern versus literal file path. Okay, then Unix glob versus regular expression. Okay, then the order of exclude and include. Okay, that's another complexity. Now, that's one of my criticism of Unix. Now, maybe one can ask the question, maybe the problem about excluding and including directories is inherently complex. That's just the way things are. There's no, it's inherent. It's like a math problem. It's not artificial complexity. It's not something the Unix people created, because the problem about excluding including directories or files is just complex. Therefore, some Unix people might say, they might retort or defend Unix by saying, oh, actually the problem is just complex. It's not because Unix. That is partially true, but no, the Unix is still fuckheads, the Unix people, because when Unix people trying to solve this problem, they made it far worse, especially like I talked about, especially when the documentation doesn't clearly delineate, explain the issue. So so as a concrete example, if you in your day job you are going to write rsync, rsync is one of the greatest, most powerful tool of the Unix lineage. If you are going to write rsync, in your job for backup, for example, if you are sysadmin, or today is so-called something op, dev op. Today there's a new jargon, dev op. So if you need to do rsync for backup, you will run into this issue, and then you will read rsync man page. I think if you have done this before, you know the experience. It's not a pleasant experience. Then you're gonna go to Stack Overflow. Stack Overflow, there's a special section for sysadmin, or DevOps. You're gonna spend hours. Then you're gonna try it. It doesn't work. Then you're gonna do, Unix. The story of Unix. So rsync, rsync is one way to do backup, but there are quite a lot of issues. Okay, maybe that's it for today. I feel that's another rant. This is 1 hour pure rant on Unix today. It ends up that way, and I talked about for 1 hour, and so I talked for 1 hour and 20 minutes, and I'm not feeling so good about it because I was hoping the plan is going to code Golang to rewrite this shell script in Golang. Why do I want to do that? Because essentially I want to write them in Golang as a wrapper, but there are issues about whether I should do that, because the reason I want to do that is because, first of all, I think shell script sucks. For example, in this shell function, are these variables local to the function or not? I don't know. And even if they are, there are lots of problems. For example, the if statement, if and fi, this idiotic syntax. I don't like hacks. I don't want anything that's ugly. I don't want anything to do with it. So I don't want shell script. So another reason, for example, if I'm writing this is a shell script, right? So I have these directories. I rather use a list. Instead of calling the function on each directory, I just write a list, then just write a loop and apply a function. If you are doing functional programming, you just map a function to a list of directories. But in shell, you have also the problems. So if I can do this in Golang, it might be simpler. I know for sure. I know, because I can write the whole thing in Emacs Lisp or Python or JavaScript or Golang. It will be more elegant. It will be, kind of. A bit, not so I can write them in that. Then for each thing I actually want to call git, make a archive, I can just call a shell script. So that was my thought. That is why I want to write this in Golang. And also but I'm wondering whether it's worthwhile, because there are instances where actually a shell script, just let it be. It's if I write this as a wrapper in Golang or Python, the problem is that sometimes it will end up with the code being more elegant and easier to manage, but not always. Sometimes not. Sometimes it's actually just leave shell script alone as shell script. Why? Because I do have an example I showed earlier in this talk, about this article. Okay, one language to rule them all. What language to use for find and replace? Okay, I think that's it for today. Thank you guys for watching. So today is about a lot rant on Unix, I guess. So let me answer some questions. So Tanner says, is this complexity a problem with Unix system or the shell language they use? Seems like a more structured command language is what is needed, although I've never seen a thing. Well, I hope I gave explanation towards that already. I was always unable to spell Xah. You mean the case, the shell. The fucking idiotic. Recently, so in the past few days, I was looking at shell because I was trying to write this shell script. I was wondering whether, I was trying to think about, on one hand, I was trying to write this script. On the other hand, I was also trying to, because Mac switched from Bash to zshell. Why? Because the Free Software Foundation GPL3, the Apple people, they don't want nothing to do with GPL3. So their Bash, the Bash on the Mac up to 3 years ago was Bash version, a version that's using GPL2. Now GPL3 began like 10 years ago, like 12 years ago. So the Mac never upgraded their Bash. They stayed in the version like 10 years ago, up to like 3 years ago. Why? Because the Apple people, they don't want GPL3. Fuck GPL3. The politics of the open source. Then, of course, Linux also, by the way, I should mention, in case some of the people will say, oh yeah, GPL3 is great. No, fuck. The open source is one fucked up fuck. The Linux, of course, and Linus Torvalds, the guy who wrote Linux, also, refused to adapt GPL3. GPL3 is the Richard Stallman's thing. He wants control. He wants control of his empire in a sense. Okay, there are many different opinions, but in a sense, he created GPL3 because he wants control of his commune. His world. So Linux and many open source project or even GNU project, they began a revolt. They don't adopt GPL3. Go fuck yourself. Go with your do your GPL3 in Emacs. And that happened in lots of places, in Debian, in war. The war among the good people, open source fanatics. It's pretty bloody war, okay? Because they will not agree. Then we'll fuck you. Go, you do your stuff. I'm, first of all, there's open source camp versus Free Software Foundation camp. Then there's a lot camps, and then licenses, 1,000 licenses. MIT, Apache 2, artistic license. They are each one claims they are the most great good for humanity. But in the end, they just want their name to be plastered all over. This open source, pretentious, hypocrite fuckheads. Open source. Okay, I digressed. So I was saying, I was writing shell script, and I was also finally made my zshell prompt to be color, because all this takes time. Like when you use Linux, every day you spend hours geeking, finding out window managers, you try. So it takes time. So finally I made my zshell prompt color useful to me. And then so I revisited the shell issue, the boon shell, bash, zshell, cone shell, C shell, TCSH, shell, and also the the fish shell is actually, I think, quite good, but it's actually from 2005. So fish shell is already 15 years old. And also, by the way, there's also skim shell. You don't hear it much anymore. I talked about it before in one of my episodes. Skim shell, okay, skim this, that language, skim shell. So all these shells, the shell war, the war among shells is old. The war among shells is like today's language war. Back 20 years ago, Perl versus Python, then Python versus Ruby. Of course, then you have Golang versus Rust. Then you have Clojure versus Common Lisp. You have Java versus C, Java versus C++ versus C Sharp versus D versus EFGHIJK. The Unix, the war among the languages. But before that, in the 1990s, and also 1980s, but I wasn't around in 1980s. I began my computing career in 1990s. Okay, so but in 1990s there's a war that's a shell. Okay, that's a shell. So bash, Kong shell, C shell. That's a big war. Every programmer is talking about my shell is better than your shell. This is the reason why, because we have monads. You don't have monads. We have monads. Shell, but shell, as time goes on, shell, the life of shell, they kind of passed away quietly, just like Pearl is dead. Shell is also kind of dead. Nobody's, because for example, we talked about today. Grep, set, you can write those in Golang, in Ruby, in Java, in Perl, in Python, in 10 minutes, in 5 minutes. You can write one that's better than grep or set, the Unix tools. So and actually the languages are far more powerful than all these shells. So shells, the Unix shells became it becomes the sole purpose of shell is just interactive use. Allows you to have a, for example, allows you to have interaction with your operating system. Then there comes Microsoft PowerShell. I think PowerShell is the best. Okay, let's go to PowerShell. You should learn PowerShell. Okay, you should. I think it's a, I don't know for sure, but I think as a programming language, PowerShell is a better shell, is a better designed shell than all these other traditional bash, zshell, Kong shell, C shell, tcsh. That's my opinion. Maybe not compared to scheme shell, but yeah, I think so too. PowerShell. Why? Because in general, for computer languages, programming languages, or almost any technology, the later ones are better than the earlier ones. If their age differs by 10 years old. So how old is Bash? Bash was invented in 1989. Bash. How old is PowerShell? PowerShell was born in 2005, around there. Okay, so what's their age difference? About 15 years. Okay, so is that more than 10? Yes. So therefore, PowerShell is better shell in general, because when it comes to technology, later inventions almost always better. Okay, so I think PowerShell is the actually best shell. So and actually today it's all cross-platform. So for example, I can start a PowerShell now. PWSH. There it is. I'm in PowerShell. Now let's see. DOS. PowerShell. Okay, so there it is, PowerShell. So if you haven't done already, learn PowerShell, read my tutorial, okay? And I have a section that is the most popular, PowerShell versus Bash, where you can learn, if you came from Bash, you can learn how something is done in Bash is done in PowerShell. So this is a gateway to get you started in PowerShell, because based on what things, grab, find, things you already know by muscle memory, you can also learn how it's done in PowerShell. Okay, but I don't know that much in PowerShell. Never. It takes time to actually write scripts and learn stuff. Okay, finally, last words for today. If you like my stuff, buy my tutorials. Okay, so I have Emac list tutorial, I have JavaScript in-depth tutorial, or just PayPal me. Okay, and thank you, PayPal me and Patreon. Uh, have you tried Elvish? Now, if I remember correctly, Elvish is a wait. Elvish is a new shell, I guess. No, I don't know. I don't know this. Happy New Year's, by the way. Yeah, Happy New Year's, guys. 2001, 2021. Yeah, actually, I should close down. It's over. It's like 90 minutes. So, yeah, random chat. Yeah, I had fun. Thank you guys for watching. Bye, guys. Elvish language. Okay, let's see Elvish language. Wait, no, that's not it. You are talking about shell. Okay, so let's see shell. Elvish shell. So Elvish shell is a friendly interactive shell and an expressive programming language. It runs on Linux, BSD, and Mac OS and Windows. Demos enable blah blah blah. Now, is there a Wikipedia article? I always like to check a Wikipedia article first. Maybe not. Okay, so let's check the Elvish shell. Yeah, the shell is dead. Okay, is it true? Now, sometimes when you make a comment or when you have some opinions, you usually want to think about seriously. Like you ask yourself when you have time, is it really true? When you casually thought about something. So when I mentioned, I just casually mentioned, yeah, shell, Elvish is not gonna go anywhere because shell, in my opinion, is kind of dead. Okay, the only use for shell is interactive shell, and you don't do much with that. The real power of shell is actually the programming, the automation part, and for that purposes, Perl, Python, Ruby, Golang, they take over. Even PHP, JavaScript. So shell is dead. So that's my claim. But is it really true? Maybe so you have to think about it. Maybe is it possible? Maybe something I didn't think about. Maybe so maybe is it possible in 10 years, after 10 years, actually maybe some shell becomes so popular that like today Bash is still most useful because Bash is the most used language to install programs on Unix systems, on Linux. Bash. Why? Not because it's great technology, but because it is the tool that everyone can rely on because it's everywhere and it's stable. It's been, there's like C, there's a momentum. So when you want to write a installer on Unix server, the one answer is Bash. Okay, not all the new shells and better features. You have to use Bash. But so is it possible that Bash will be replaced? Anyway, I gotta go. Okay, so I gotta go, and yeah. So talk to you guys. Happy New Year.